This is News 8 Now, this morning.
You can't help but be here and be filled with joy. And that's what we want. We want to give joy and fellowship and a sense of community.
And opening day is just so exciting for all of us here because a lot of these people we don't get to see since last winter. So it's everyone's in a great mood, very excited for a good season.
We started it 3 years ago during COVID. We wanted to come up with a COVID-friendly activity, and we thought it'd be a 1 or 2 year thing, and it was such a success we decided to do it again.
They get a chance to see and taste a little bit of what this area has to offer, and then the return visits that come, to check out some of the great summer activities, to hike the bluffs, to check out the river. It's just it's immense for us.
And that was your eye-opener. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching News 8 Now. I'm Ken Kozarowski. That's Derek Sibley. It is Monday, December 5th, 2022. The Packers may have given up a top 5 draft pick yesterday, but hey, they beat the Bears.
There you go.
Made a little history on the way.
Yeah.
Makes my Christmas celebrating a little easier with my Illinois-based family.
There you go.
Derek, meanwhile, you're having to regroup a little bit. The Dolphins, they did lose to a good team, but a loss nonetheless. I hope you're doing well this Monday morning.
It's definitely a hard one here this morning, Ken, to kind of just soak in. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just, #1 defense again in the NFL, right? So
You're still a good team, man.
we can still bounce back against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. So
That's right.
We'll see how that goes. But at least here in the weather department, Ken, we are watching some snow showers moving across our southern zones this morning. The rest of us kind of looking at some flurries. But I do want to focus in on some of these snowy weather conditions across. You can see portions of our southeastern Minnesota counties as well as northeastern Iowa counties here as well. Notice the red here and the pink kind of mixing together with the snow. That is some of that ice that is also coming down, now moving its way eastward into portions of Crawford County. And this activity in general is moving its way towards the east, including the snowy weather too. Rest of us, again, cloudy, maybe a slight chance of a snow flurry that you could run into. Otherwise, temperatures this morning into the 30s. City Cam 8 looking quiet here in downtown La Crosse. And if we look at your planner for the rest of the day, we'll be looking at temperatures well into the 30s for the most part. Cloudy skies, again, that slight chance of snow flurry is possible here through the day today. Most of that snowy and icy weather should remain well to our south here and not really affect La Crosse County here too much in general. High today warming up to about 38 degrees coming around 3 o'clock today, Ken.
All right. Thanks very much, Derek. Well, we start the news this morning with a resilient community. Just 1 year after the deadly car crash that left 6 dead and nearly 70 injured at the Waukesha Parade, community members gathered once again for the 2022 Waukesha Christmas Parade on Sunday evening. Ellie Nakamoto has the story from Waukesha.
We've all managed to somehow come through it stronger and more committed to each other as a community. To me, that's what really defines Waukesha.
Merry Christmas!
Waukesha, a city of resilience, power, and heart.
I am so glad to be here this year and see so many people celebrating, life.
Celebrating life together on Sunday, joining hands in displays of solidarity and holiday cheer.
Enjoy the parade.
Organizers say this is one of the largest turnouts ever, with people coming from not only outside of the state, but also tuning in from other countries just to show their support for Waukesha.
We were really happy to see that Waukesha was proceeding with a Christmas parade. We also, have some nerves and some fears. We said a couple extra prayers at our church today.
For some, going to the parade is a family tradition.
I remember when we stood there when we were young kids. My parents would sit in one of the businesses and we would all stand out on the curb. It was just awesome.
And while the scars remain from that fateful day last November,
You see some of the people that their groups were injured and some of them killed in their back.
they say nothing will stop them from moving forward.
It was just so unbelievable what happened last year, and we just had to come out here and show our support.
This is a strong community, and we're going to move forward as a community, and we have to take it one day at a time, and today is going to be the parade that everybody has joyous memories of.
And although the parade may only be once a year, people there say the strength and unity of the community will live on every day. An organization is helping Ukraine refugees one jewelry piece at a time. The Franciscan Spirituality Center held a craft fair on Sunday, partnering with the Sisters of the Dormition to support Ukraine. Organizers hope the fair promotes a holiday message of peace and goodwill. They say that everything sold at the fair, from handcrafted jewelry to rosaries, holds a special meaning for the sisters.
Everybody here at the Spirituality Center is just heartbroken about the war, and whatever we can do to support the help that we can give to people who are suffering, we're happy to do.
And money raised from the craft fair supported those affected by war in Ukraine. It was opening weekend at Mount La Crosse. Now, only one trail was open, but it's a good one. The Midway is one of the longest ski trails in Wisconsin. Now, staff, of course, working to open more trails pretty soon. They say welcoming everyone back, though, was the highlight of the day.
And opening day is just so exciting for all of us here because a lot of these people we don't get to see since last winter. So it's everyone's in a great mood, very excited for a good season.
Of course, new ownership this year, the Matthew family, but operations running exactly the same as you'd expect. The general manager says there's plenty of snow on the trail. And for hours and other information, just head to news8000.com. We've got it for you. Thrill seekers got a unique opportunity over the weekend to get up close with pyrotechnics. The La Crosse Skyrockers held an open house to show off what they do. Operating since 1929, the Skyrockers put on the fireworks in La Crosse for the 4th of July and New Year's Eve celebrations. Members say they couldn't do what they do without community support.
Every member of this group is a volunteer, and they're here in their own doing, and the financials that push this group and that supply our product all come from the community, and it's all community supported, and we really appreciate it.
Now, naturally, the Skyrockers do a lot of training before putting on their shows. If you plan on setting off your own fireworks during a holiday celebration, they urge you to follow all safety guidelines. The second annual Frostbite returned and brought in holiday cheer with winter drinks and food. More than 1,000 people from 10 different states filled the La Crosse Center on Saturday to sample beer and some bites. 40 brewers poured 160 different beverages, and 10 vendors served up plenty of food. Frostbite is also the sister event to the Between the Bluffs Wine and Cheese event. Organizers say events like these are great for the city because people come back for more.
They get a chance to see and taste a little bit of what this area has to offer, and then the return visits that come, to check out some of the great summer activities, to hike the bluffs, to check out the river. It's just it's immense for us.
It was also a big day for vendors because bragging rights were on the line. People at the event got to vote for their favorite beverage and bite. La Crosse police want to remind drivers of a new route if you're going to see the Rotary Lights in Riverside Park. Police set up an alternate route to help keep traffic from backing up on Copeland Avenue. The new route sends drivers south of Riverside Park to enter on Front Street. Police recommend drivers go southbound on 2nd Street and northbound on Front Street. Police do have signs up along the way, and we have posted pictures of those traffic maps on news8000.com. The village of Holmen is shining brightly in honor of the holidays and area kids. The Holmen Area Rotary proudly hosted the 3rd annual Jingle Fest Parade and Holidays in the Park tree decorating contest. Dozens of floats kicked off the celebration, and the parade made its way through the village and into Halfway Creek Park for a special tree lighting. 50 different sponsors decorated 50 trees. You can actually vote for your favorite by making a donation, and the money raised will benefit the Holmen Boys and Girls Club. When the Rotary Club decided to host this event, members never expected it to be so popular.
We started it 3 years ago during COVID. We wanted to come up with a COVID-friendly activity, and we thought it'd be a 1 or 2 year thing, and it was such a success we decided to do it again.
You're able to check out the trees every night between now and the new year. Donations can be made in person on Saturday nights between 4:30 and 7. The 12th annual Jingle Bell Brunch helped area families celebrate the holidays on Sunday and went toward a good cause. Proceeds from that brunch will be donated to help military veterans and their families. Families got in the holiday spirit with pictures with Santa and a children's activity center. Organizers say that this event is a great way to support the community.
You can't help but be here and be filled with joy. And that's what we want. We want to give joy and fellowship and a sense of community.
So if you missed the brunch but would still like to help out, Jingle Bell Brunch organizers are also taking donations online. We've posted that link and more information on our website, news8000.com. For many families, the holidays can be a difficult time of year, especially if you've lost a loved one. The Gunderson and Mayo Clinic Health Systems are hosting a candlelight memorial service today in Mayo's Marycrest Auditorium. That service will honor those who have experienced pregnancy loss, stillbirth, newborn, or early infant death. Dinner will be served at 5:30 in the evening with the service starting at 7. If you'd like to attend, we've got more information on news8000.com. Viterbo nursing students are going virtual. This week, nursing students at Viterbo's Climate Change, Health, Global Awareness, and Social Justice class will be releasing their 4-part podcast. Students will be speaking with experts on topics such as keeping the planet healthy and protecting the rights of Native Americans. The 2023 Best of La Crosse County contest is underway, and you can vote for what you think is the best part of the county. You have until December 31st to nominate your favorite business, organization, or person. So the nomination process open right now. The voting process begins in February after we get the top 5 nominees in each category, and then the winners will be announced on April 3rd. For more information or a walkthrough on this nominating process, we have got you covered. News8000.com. Time is 6:10 a.m. on this Monday morning. Still ahead on your morning news, the travel destinations that are heating up for next year's travel plans. And despite economic worries, employment numbers in the U.S. continue to rise. What it means for the economy and more after the break. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. You can just call him Super Dad. A Minnesota father came to the rescue when a carjacker stole his SUV while his young children were still inside. Derek Gochi and his wife were dropping off gifts to friends when suddenly their SUV was stolen and the kids still inside. Gochi says his dad instincts just took over, and within a couple of blocks, he caught up with the carjacker. He rammed his truck into the back of the SUV to pin him against the fence. The suspected carjacker jumped out of the SUV and ran. Not all superheroes wear capes, but Derek's wife and kids look up to him as theirs. It is now 6:11 a.m. on this Monday, December 5th. Don't go anywhere. More News 8 Now this morning coming up after the break.
And that was a live look there from City Cam 8 showing some pretty quiet weather conditions. Most of the snowy and icy weather is focused towards our south, and this activity is moving its way towards the east. Now, meanwhile, the rest of us looking cloudy. A couple of snow flurries here possibly moving through your area as we progress through those morning hours. Our temperatures are currently into the upper 20s and low 30s. Let's get checked down your zone forecast, starting with you in La Crosse County. Our high temperatures today warming up into the mid-30s, 36 in West Salem, 38 in Berry Mills today, and 35 in Mindoro. Highs reaching 38 in Gays Mill. Same story in Soldiers Grove today. Be 38 as well in Lafarge. Highs are going to reach around 35 if you're in Trempealeau, and 33 though if you're in Arcadia. 31 today in Osseo. Highs reaching 31 here too in both Eau Claire and the Chippewa Falls area. A check now on your schoolcast shows us that we will be looking at 33 and cloudy skies for the morning hour. Again, that snowy and icy weather remaining to the south. Snow flurries here possible for some of us this afternoon with temperatures at around 36 degrees. I'll be back with the full weather forecast plus a check on those winter weather advisories coming up in just a bit.
With the arrival of December, many are looking for their next travel destinations in 2023. A recent survey found that 58% of American travelers have a leisure trip planned. With borders reopening due to COVID restrictions easing up, Western Japan and Queensland, Australia are popular tourist destinations for the upcoming year. Experts also cite Egypt as a destination growing in popularity as well. 2 destinations in the U.S. are Memphis, Tennessee, and the Central Coast of California. You've probably noticed the cost of living is going up, and according to the Economist Intelligence Unit, the most expensive places in the world to live are not La Crosse and Eau Claire. No, it's actually New York City and Singapore. They topped this year's list of the Worldwide Cost of Living Index. Other major cities on the list included Hong Kong and Los Angeles. The index reports that the average cost of living is up 8.1% this year. Researchers say the increase due to the Russian war in Ukraine and the lingering effects of the pandemic. With the longest wait times for high-end iPhones in 15 years, Apple is looking to move production out of China. Ongoing problems with COVID restrictions, supply chain issues, and labor unrest in China are forcing Apple to investigate alternatives. Those could include new factories in other countries like Vietnam or India. The potential shift in production comes on top of more than 5 years of heightened U.S.-China military and economic tensions. Industry analysts say Apple needs to diversify its manufacturing if it wants to continue its growth. Even though parts of the economy are weakening, the job market remains strong. The latest employment report shows many businesses continue to add workers, even though others are scaling back. Bradley Blackburn has a look inside the numbers.
Koi's Sushi Bar in Southeast Texas lost half its staff during the pandemic and has struggled to find replacements.
Up until now, we hardly have had applicants, and if we did have applicants, they rarely would show up for interviews, nor would they even show up for shifts.
The restaurant is now adding workers and needs more. It's a similar story at many other businesses. The latest data from the Department of Labor shows the economy added a better than expected 263,000 jobs in November. The unemployment rate remains at 3.7%. The positive report comes even though many big-name tech companies are cutting tens of thousands of workers.
I pulled out my phone, couldn't log into work chat, couldn't log into our internal sites.
We talked to Eric Treby last month when he lost his job at Facebook's parent company, Meta.
What's done is done. I just kind of got to charge forward, got to provide for my family.
I think what this report tells us is that while the economy may be slowing down, especially in certain areas like technology or real estate, the overall employment landscape remains solid.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the strong report means the Federal Reserve will likely raise interest rates again. The board continues its fight against inflation, even with fears of a recession.
Most economists right now are predicting that within the next 6 months, the U.S. economy will slip into a short and shallow recession.
And experts say that recession could take a toll on the so far resilient job market.
Well, we continue to watch the snowy and icy weather come down across portions of southeast Minnesota and northeast Iowa, and you can see where some of that purple shades here matching up just south around the Preston area moving east. That is kind of where we are seeing some of that snow and ice here mixing together, but where you see the pink here in Decorah and moving its way eastward towards Lansing, that's where we're seeing more of that icier weather here coming down. And this is the same story here for portions of Vernon County southward into Crawford County, where we're seeing a combination of snow and mix here. Also as far east into Richland County, where we're seeing some of the light snow. Meanwhile, a couple of some scattered flurries here across our central zones this morning. Otherwise, you're just looking at mainly cloudy weather conditions. Now, we do have winter weather alerts here to share with you, more specifically a winter weather advisory in effect here until 11 a.m. this morning. And this is again for northeast Iowa through portions of Richland County as well towards the east. A lot of us across northern Iowa really looking at those winter weather advisories. City Cam 8 in downtown La Crosse looking pretty quiet for us to start with this morning. Temperatures at 33 degrees in La Crosse. A feel like temperature currently of 29. South-southwest winds at around 5 miles an hour. And our current conditions to the north in Eau Claire, 28 degrees here with west-southwest winds at around 3 miles an hour as well. So our current conditions as you head out the door in Black River Falls, you're at 26. Broke was currently at 31 degrees. Winona to the west at 32. Feel like temperatures anywhere between around 10 to 20 degrees of a warmer difference this morning, with highs today warming up into the mid-30s here for the most part. It'll be around 36 today if you're in Black River Falls and 33 in Winona. Check down your day planner showing that things will remain pretty cloudy around noon, 34 degrees. Again, watch out for some of that snow and ice here down to the south. Cloudy skies, 27 degrees as we head towards that 8 o'clock hour here or so. So we'll time it out here as far as the snow showers go and the ice, and you can see it moving through much of the area come later this morning. And then as we head into the afternoon, and we may start to mix in here a little bit with some rain as those temperatures warm up. Otherwise, a couple of scattered snow flurries here for portions of the area through the day. Otherwise, expect those cloudy weather conditions really to just persist throughout the day and also into tomorrow. Maybe a couple of some scattered snow showers and maybe a bit of a mix here once again kind of moving through those south zones as you just saw go by as we head into tomorrow. So something we'll keep our eyes on. But if we take a look now at your 8-day forecast, you'll be looking at cloudy skies for Tuesday, for tomorrow high of 35, and then we'll start to see some of those clouds clear for Wednesday, 34 degrees. We start to warm up on Thursday with a high of 37, and we're pretty mild for Friday and Saturday. As a matter of fact, as high temperatures warm up to around 40, which would be pretty mild for this time of the year. Then we're back kind of into those upper 30s for Sunday and Monday with low temperatures mainly into the 20s. Now don't forget, you can also download our First Warn Weather app for free on the Google Play or Apple App Store. You get those current alerts as well as your 8-day forecast right there on your fingertips and much more. Stay tuned though, we're back with much more news and weather still to come here on News 8 Now this morning. We are sending you to break with a look at what happened on this day in history for December 5th, I should say. We'll be right back. Well, conditions this morning are looking a little bit snowy and icy down to our south, as you can see, moving through our southern zones this morning, and all this activity is moving its way towards the east. Our current temperatures right now are around 28 degrees currently in Sparta. We're looking at 33 currently in La Crosse, and 26 degrees is that temperature in Black River Falls, with feel-like temperature readings mainly into the 20s and 30s if you factor in the wind speeds out there. Again, some of that snow and mix remaining to the south here for the morning walks, but otherwise cloudy skies for the morning for the rest of us. And it looks like the overcast skies will continue for your afternoon and evening. We'll be back with the commute forecast that's coming up next in weather.
Welcome to the Morning Blitz. The Packers and the Bears have always had one of the best rivalries in the NFL, but yesterday's game in Chicago had a little more on the line than usual. A Packers win, and they would pass the Bears franchise for most regular season wins ever in the NFL. Both teams tied at 786. We go to Chicago. Packers with 7 straight wins over the Bears. And in the first quarter, Chicago leads 3-0, but the young quarterback is going to show off the legs here. Justin Fields scrambling, goes right up the middle of the field, past the entire Packers defense, and he scores 51 yards, and the Bears take a 10-0 lead. Packers answer with a field goal, but then Chicago's going to score again. This time, it's David Montgomery running it in from 7 yards out. PAT no good. It's 16-3, but right before half, on 4th and 4, Rodgers stepping up, and it's the rookie Christian Watson coming up with a huge touchdown grab. Packers trail by 6 at the half. Fourth quarter, Packers threatening Rodgers, hands it off to A.J. Dillon, and Dillon's going to make some magic happen. Bounces outside and gets in for the score. It's a 2-point game. Packers took the lead on a field goal, and then with 2 minutes to play, Christian Watson is going to put this game on ice. The rookie takes the jet sweep and goes 46 yards in for the score. His 8th touchdown in 4 games. The 2-point conversion is good, and the Packers win. It's their 8th straight win over the Bears, and the franchise now has the most regular season wins in NFL history. And US Bank Stadium, Vikings taking on a pretty solid New York Jets team. It's 3-3 at the start of the second quarter, but Dalvin Cook is going to change that. A 5-yard touchdown run puts the Vikings on top. And then later in the half, Vikings on the 14, and this time it's Alexander Mattison getting the call up the middle, and he's in for the score. Vikings go up 17-3, but oh no, is Mattison hurt? Nah, it's just a little touchdown celebration, having some fun. Second half now, Jets in the red zone. Mike White has a man, but the Vikings defense is there with a tight defense, and they hold on. Jets get another field goal, and then after 2 more Jets field goals, Vikings are on the 10, and Cousins throw into the end zone. Justin Jefferson with a beautiful sideline grab. It's 27-15, but New York would have a chance to take the lead late in the game. Mike White throwing to Braxton Berrios, but it's incomplete. The Vikings take over, but New York would get the ball back, and then on 4th and 10, White throwing, and it's picked off. The Vikings come up clutch once again. They get a huge win over the Jets and are now 10-2 on the year. All right, that's all I have for the Morning Blitz, but I'll have plenty of more sports later this evening. We'll be right back.
Breaking overnight, Beijing is scrapping mandatory COVID-19 test results for public transportation despite higher case numbers. Starting today, public transportation operators will no longer reject passengers if they don't have a negative COVID test result taken 48 hours prior. The government shortened the time of test results from 72 to 48 hours last Tuesday. This new rule applies to businesses and the metro. Former National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden has received a Russian passport after being granted Russian citizenship. Snowden's U.S. passport was annulled in 2013 following his public disclosure of classified information and documents for which he's facing up to 30 years in prison stateside. Snowden has been living in Moscow after requesting asylum to several countries, including Russia. His spouse is also submitting the required documents for Russian citizenship. In recent years, during the pandemic, the Wisconsin National Guard answered the call, from helping out with COVID testing to managing the vaccine stockpile. Now a new program is helping this great state resource become well again. Eric Franke has the story.
The one thing that keeps me up at night is the health and wellness of our force here in Wisconsin.
As the COVID-19 pandemic settled down, the Wisconsin National Guard needed a boost.
We were the front line. Between the Wisconsin National Guard and healthcare folks out there trying to actually take care of the COVID pandemic and the people, there was no hunkering down at home.
The The pandemic response in 2021 was the longest and largest sustained domestic mobilization in Guard history. And that's on top of other missions, like preserving public safety in Kenosha after the shooting of Jacob Blake, protecting the inauguration of President Joe Biden after the Capitol insurrection, not to mention overseas deployments. Many were asking for just a little help.
Folks are getting in financial trouble, their mental health is suffering, they're just stressed out, frankly.
One of the fundamental strategies behind CHW is that if we build a strong Wisconsin, we're going to have a strong Wisconsin National Guard.
Nico Rude is the program manager for the Guard's new comprehensive health and wellness program.
As leaders, as mentors.
Started this year and funded by $5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act.
I think it's even having the conversation in the first place. I mean, I think so few people, and I'm talking about even non-guardsmen, right, have been asked how they're doing in the last couple of years, right? We all are struggling with a lot of things.
It's a program available now to all 20,000 members of the Guard in Wisconsin. It starts with courses that cover 5 specific pillars: a Guard member's physical and financial well-being, their social and spiritual life, and perhaps more important than ever before, their mental health.
That stuff was never talked about in the Guard before, but certainly I think a lot of Americans in general, Wisconsinites in general, are really struggling with that. And I think just even having these conversations is really refreshing to people.
This one you guys have been practicing the most in your break.
Morgan Sondelski is a full-time member of the Guard and a master fitness leader who works in the education office. The program hasn't just helped her, it's also helped her serve the soldiers she leads more effectively.
The courses really helped me feel more confident, having resources and having the skills to talk to my soldiers about what their needs are, and now I know where to direct them when there's things I can't help them with.
And what she's learned complements Morgan's civilian job perfectly, which in her case happens to be as a member of the Madison Police Department.
There is that mindset in the military that goes against mental health and other types of health other than your physical health. So being able to validate what I brought from the civilian side and get more skills from the program really helped out a lot.
It's so important to keep our service members well, and that's what we're doing.
Dina Person, a veteran of the Guard herself, is a registered dietitian and the program's nutrition manager. Services like hers are available in all corners of the state, bettering the lives of not only Guard members, but also their families.
And I feel like that's what we do in comprehensive health and wellness, is we take the service members and we make them better. And not just better for the Guard, but better for their families and for the state of Wisconsin as well.
We're basically making it more human, right? And just having people realize that everyone has challenges, right? And we just want everyone to have tools and the support necessary to overcome whatever those challenges might be.
It's not just about helping them now and in their capacity in the military, but about helping them in any aspect of their life.
Leaders hope the program continues as part of the annual Guard budget once the funding from the American Rescue Plan Act expires. Talking about death or how you want to be cared for as you age isn't a typical dinner table conversation, but experts at Gunderson Health System say it's an important conversation to have sooner rather than later. Gunderson offers free advanced care planning services to help people create a plan and designate a person to be in charge of their care when they're unable to. Experts say it's important for all adults to have the conversation, even if it's hard to do so.
If a family is watching a movie, for example, and there's something happening in that movie and it sparks a little bit of, you know, if that were me, I would want this or I would want that, is a great way to get it started.
If you'd like to meet with the Advanced Care Planning team, you can set up an appointment online. We've posted a link with more info on news8000.com. Teenagers who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, are one of the highest risk groups of drivers. A small study in the New England Journal of Medicine found there's a new program that's helping reduce accidents among those drivers. Dina Demetrius reports.
A new program is helping teens with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder improve their focus when they get behind the wheel.
This is the first intervention that we're able to put out there that really does reduce driving risk.
Research shows teen drivers are 4 times more likely to be in a crash than adult drivers, and teens with ADHD are twice as likely to be in a crash compared to teens without the disorder. One major factor is that teen drivers with ADHD tend to take their eyes off the road for prolonged periods when distracted. This new program from Cincinnati Children's Hospital is teaching teens with ADHD to deal with distractions. It involves a driving simulator that buzzes when they look away from the road for 2 seconds or more.
This intervention significantly reduced those long eye glances from the roadway, both during simulated driving as well as during real-world driving.
Researchers put cameras in the cars of study participants for a full year to monitor their eye glance behavior. They found the group that underwent the training had 76% fewer long eye glances than the control group and a 40% reduction in crashes and near crashes.
I want this intervention to spread and really for teens to be able to have access to this, with the goal being that it'll save lives.
CDC numbers show there are more than 3 million American teens with ADHD.
A promising study. Now, it was a small study. A total of 152 teens took part. 76 received the training, 76 did not. Well, Santa Claus got a special ride on Sunday, courtesy of the Town of Campbell Fire Department. Jolly old St. Nick got escorted by the department's sleigh, spreading plenty of holiday cheer. The department gave Santa's reindeer a little bit of a rest before that big day.
And it gives us a chance to go out and meet the kids and make sure everybody's doing well, they're behaving, and if there's anything special that they'd like to have.
Santa stopped at each of the French Island parks to see Campbell kids and even stopped by the senior center. He even made special house calls for families who couldn't make it out during the afternoon. Meanwhile, Onalaska lit up its streets at the Season of Lights parade. The parade celebrated local businesses with floats decked out in holiday lights. The parade started as a chance to bring the community together in a pandemic-safe way. Mayor Kim Smith says it's been a hit ever since.
What it's all about is us getting outside, gathering together as a community, and enjoying the season. This is Wisconsin. We need to get outside and enjoy the weather no matter what it is.
Smith says she hopes the community will keep this tradition going and make it bigger and better every year.
Got some snow showers, and also it looks like a combination of ice and snow mixing together mainly across our southern zones this morning. And this activity is moving its way towards the east. The rest of us just looking at cloudy skies, maybe a slight chance of a snow flurry, and that's kind of in the forecast here for today. As a matter of fact, we're in temperatures in Sparta, 28 degrees, Black River Falls at 26. La Crosse at 33, and Winona there, as you can see, right at the freezing mark of 32 degrees. Forecast for today overall, cloudy skies, high of 38, and a little bit of snow and mix here down to the south here early. As we mentioned, west-northwest winds today. Tonight we drop down to 18 degrees. That's slightly cool for this time of year. Cloudy skies, a light north wind here to work with at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as far as the drivecast is concerned, that snow mix will continue to remain mainly to the south here for this morning, so just keep your eyes on that if you have travel plans southbound or if you are in those south zones, really in general. Flurries here for the lunch hour, possible, otherwise cloudy skies will continue into your evening commute as well. Stay tuned. I'll be back with a final check on the weather forecast that's coming up next in weather. Ken?
Thanks very much, Derek. Time is 6:41 a.m. this Monday morning. Still to come, in honor of his father's passing, one of Hollywood's biggest stars created a documentary highlighting his dad's legacy. That newest project coming up in your Buzz Report after the break.
Well, we continue to watch the snow, the ice, and the snow mixing together with the ice here, mainly focused across our southern zones this morning. Here in extreme southeastern Minnesota, you can see some of that snow here mixing in with some of that ice here as well. And the same story, but mainly ice across portions of extreme northeastern Iowa. And this activity is moving towards the east. And in fact, if we go east, you can see portions of even our Wisconsin counties, such as Vernon County, south into Crawford County, even into Richland County as well. Looking at a combination of snow and or ice or snow here mixing together. Meanwhile, to the north across our central and northern zones, looking quiet, maybe a slight chance of a snow flurry here moving into your neighborhood. Otherwise, it's just really looking mainly cloudy here. Winter weather alerts for northern Iowa, and it also spreads east into our counties here across the viewing area, into northeastern Iowa, and also into extreme southern here, Wisconsin, at least here in our viewing area across the southern zones. Winter weather advisory until 11 a.m. here for snow that could accumulate up to an inch and 1/10 of an inch of ice that could also accumulate at the same time. Although right now, City Cam 8 looking very quiet here, as we just saw from La Crosse, and current conditions in La Crosse are at 38 degrees with a feel-like temperature of 29 degrees. South-southwest winds at around 5. Current conditions to the north in Eau Claire, 28 degrees here. West-southwest winds here at around 3 miles an hour. Current temperatures here across the rest of the area, 26 in Black River Falls, 28 degrees right now in Sparta. We're looking at 31 in Viroqua, 32 down south in Boscobel, and overall about 10 to 20 degrees of a warmer difference from the last 24 hours here. So you'll notice it as you step outside the door, and our highs today should rise into those mid-30s at least as we head into the afternoon. 34 degrees at noon today, 35 by 4 o'clock, and things remaining cloudy here for the most part across the Coulee region. But again, we're going to focus in on some of that snow here and ice. We'll time it out. By around 10 o'clock, it looks like it's still going to be really just continuing. That's why that winter weather advisory doesn't expire until 11. And then after that, it will be allowed to expire. As you can see, most of it's gone. Maybe kind of mixing in with some rain here early here too as well at the same time. Then everything kind of settles down. Maybe a few snow flurries could linger into the evening. Otherwise, mainly cloudy skies throughout the rest of the day as well as into tonight as well. By tomorrow morning, we'll watch out for yet possibly another round of maybe even some snow setting up across our southern zones by around sunrise, and then probably lasting into the afternoon. Something that we'll keep our eyes on. Otherwise, just expect a mainly cloudy day for the rest of us tomorrow, with temperatures warming up just slightly, or actually cooling down slightly, I should say, to 35 degrees. And then we're at 34 with some clearing here for Wednesday. We'll start to see some cloudier skies moving again on Thursday. High temperatures warm up into the low 40s, though, come Friday and Saturday. Lows mainly into the 20s.
In our Buzz Report this morning, Robert Downey Jr.'s latest project debuted on Netflix this weekend. It's got elements of comedy, drama, and reality, but it's not a work of fiction. It's actually a documentary about his father titled Senior. Robert Downey Sr. was a well-known underground filmmaker in his day. Senior delves into the actor's permissive childhood that led to many of his later issues with drugs. While his father passed away last year from Parkinson's, Downey's documentary will live on as a lasting tribute. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are opening themselves up for your viewing pleasure. Netflix has released the first official trailer for the upcoming Harry and Meghan docuseries. Netflix is calling this an unprecedented and in-depth series that includes Harry and Meghan's relationship from the start and their decision to leave their full-time roles in the British government. So far, no word on when the series will be available for streaming. That announcement will be coming soon. Let's head to break, Derek, with today's Look Who's 8.
That's right, Ken. We got a couple of them here to celebrate. First, we'll go ahead and start off with our first one, who is Ellie, and she is turning 8 today. Now, Ellie loves reading and exploring nature. Happy birthday, Ellie.
And a happy 8th birthday to Emma. Emma loves the season of giving and recently sent Christmas shoe boxes to children in Honduras. Awesome stuff.
Very thoughtful there. And happy 8th birthday to Taylor. Taylor loves anything that's sweet and spending time with family and friends.
If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old, we would love to feature them.
Yeah, just upload their photo to our website. It's news8000.com, and you want to look for the Submit Pictures button. That's under the Home tab on our website.
It is 6:48 a.m. Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now coming up next. Time for your morning news now. The second annual Frostbite returned to bring holiday cheer with winter drinks and food. More than 1,000 people from 10 different states filled the La Crosse Center over the weekend to sample beer and bites. 40 brewers poured 160 different beverages, and 10 vendors served up plenty of food. Frostbite is also the sister event to the Between the Bluffs Wine and Cheese event. Organizers say events like these are great for the city because people come back for more.
They get a chance to see and taste a little bit of what this area has to offer, and then the return visits that come, to check out some of the great summer activities, to hike the bluffs, to check out the river. It's just it's immense for us.
It was also a big day for the vendors as bragging rights were on the line. People at the event got to vote for their favorite beverage and bite. The 12th annual Jingle Bell Brunch helped area families celebrate the holidays on Sunday and went toward a good cause. Proceeds from the brunch will be donated to help military veterans and their families. Families got in the holiday spirit with pictures with Santa, who you saw, and a children's activity center. Organizers say that this event is a great way to support the community.
You can't help but be here and be filled with joy. And that's what we want. We want to give joy and fellowship and a sense of community.
If you missed the brunch but would still like to help out, Jingle Bell Brunch organizers are also taking donations online. We've got a link with more info on our website, news8000.com. The village of Holmen is shining bright in honor of the holidays and area kids. The Holmen Area Rotary proudly hosted the 3rd annual Jingle Fest Parade and Holidays in the Park tree decorating contest. Dozens of floats kicked off the celebration. The parade made its way through the village and into Halfway Creek Park for a special tree lighting. 50 sponsors decorated 50 trees this year. You can vote for your favorite by making a donation. Donations can be made in person on Saturday nights between 4:30 and 7. The money raised will benefit the Holmen Boys and Girls Club. La Crosse Police want to remind drivers of a new route to see the Rotary Lights in Riverside Park. Police set up an alternate route this year to help keep traffic from backing up on Copeland Avenue. The new route sends drivers south of Riverside Park to enter on Front Street. Police recommend drivers go southbound on 2nd Street and northbound on Front Street. We posted pictures of the traffic maps on news8000.com.
A mix here of some snow and ice here is mainly focused to our south. Overall, cloudy with a slight chance of snow flurries for really the rest of us, including La Crosse County today. Temperatures mainly into the mid-30s coming this afternoon.
All right, thanks very much, Derek. Hey, Santa Claus got a special ride on Sunday, courtesy of the Town of Campbell Fire Department. Jolly old St. Nick himself got escorted by the department's sleigh, spreading plenty of holiday cheer. Santa stopped at each of the French Island parks to see Campbell kids and even stopped by the senior center. He even made special house calls for families who couldn't make it out that afternoon. The department gave Santa's reindeer a nice little rest before that big day coming up. Meanwhile, Onalaska lit up its streets at the Season of Lights parade. The parade celebrated local businesses with floats decked out in holiday lights. The parade started as a chance to bring the community together in a pandemic-safe way. Mayor Kim Smith says it has been a hit ever since and hopes the community will keep the tradition going, making it bigger and better every year. The 2023 Best of La Crosse County contest is underway, and you can vote for what you think is the best part of the county. You have until December 31st to nominate your favorite business, organization, or person. Then the voting process begins in February, with the winners being announced on April 3rd. For more information and a nice little walkthrough on all the nominating categories, we've posted a link on news8000.com.
And a final check now on your 8-day forecast for today. Again, a few snow flurries here mainly across our central and north zones, but otherwise that snow and ice remaining to the south. Cloudy skies for tomorrow, 35, a little cooler once again for Wednesday as well, the high of 34. And then you can see we warm up into those upper 30s, low 40s Thursday through Saturday, so we get a bit of a break there, Ken. Nice warm air coming our way.
I was going to say Thursday through the weekend looking nice.
Yeah, it's
Real
looking
nice.
good. I will take that high of 40.
Absolutely. And I'm a little worried for you next weekend, though, with that Sunday night football game.
Oh, I know I'm going to
You
be
are going to
up.
be so tired next Monday morning.
I know. It's not going to be pretty. I might have bags floating down my face.
Yeah, so forgive him. He's got to watch the Dolphins when they're on prime time.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com. We will have the latest updates to today's top stories on News 8 Now at noon. That's Derek Sibley. I'm Ken Kozrowski saying thank you so much for joining on this Monday morning, and have a great rest of your day.